Love is not something that arrives from outside of you, nor is it a gift that another must hand to you for you to finally feel whole. The secret to making them love you deeply is not found in pleading, persuading, or chasing. It is hidden within the infinite power of your own imagination, the inner workshop where reality itself is shaped. Everything begins within. Every relationship, every bond, every connection that seems to exist in your outer world is nothing but a mirror of the inner state you dare to occupy. To be loved deeply, you must first assume yourself as the one who is already loved deeply, because consciousness is the only reality, and what you accept as true within will be compelled to appear without. The moment you stop questioning whether they love you and instead move boldly into the conviction that they already do, the game shifts. You are no longer the one searching, but the one radiating. You are no longer the one waiting for scraps, but the one feasting at the banquet of certainty. The mind that wavers is the mind that delays, but the mind that assumes with firmness is the mind that commands. When you step into the state of being desired, cherished, and adored, the universe bends itself around your assumption and compels them to play their part in harmony with your inner decree. They cannot help but love you, for they are responding not to your words or actions, but to the vibration you hold in the silence of your being. Do not for one moment believe that love requires effort or manipulation. Love is not an external conquest, it is a state of being. To be loved deeply, dwell in the feeling of being loved deeply. Feel their arms around you in the quiet of your imagination. Hear their voice whispering devotion in the stillness of your mind. Allow the warmth of their presence to become so real within you that it eclipses all doubt, and soon the outer world will bow to that inner conviction. This is the secret. You are the source of the love you seek. The outer person is only the vessel through which the love you already generate returns to you amplified. So if you desire them to be obsessed with you, to crave your presence, to ache for your touch, to be unable to imagine life without you, then you must first dare to live from the end of that reality. Stop checking, stop wondering, stop seeking proof, for those actions declare lack. Instead, inhabit the finished scene where their love for you is certain, where their devotion is everlasting. Feel it now, and the bridge of incidents will form, drawing them to you in ways you could never script. The text message arrives unexpectedly. The phone call comes at the perfect time. The eyes that once looked elsewhere now burn with longing for you. But none of it is magic in the sense of trickery. It is the natural law of consciousness unfolding. The most intoxicating power you hold is the ability to impress upon your own mind the reality you choose, and to persist in that choice until it solidifies. Every time you dwell in the end, every time you rehearse the scene of being loved, every time you loop in imagination the embrace, the kiss, the moment of recognition where they confess, "I love you more than anything," you are planting seeds in the soil of reality that must bloom in the perfect season. And when it blooms, it will not come as a shock to you, for you will have lived it within long before it came without. That is why the one who assumes is never surprised by manifestation. They already knew. Stop making love conditional on their approval. Stop believing that you must become more, achieve more, or beg more in order to be worthy of devotion. Worthiness is not earned, it is assumed. You are loved because you dare to know yourself as love. The very instant you accept that you are the prize, the center of affection, the focus of their attention, the magnet of their desire, the outer world reconfigures itself to match. They begin to feel an inexplicable pull toward you, an unseen thread tugging at their soul, drawing them closer, making them restless without you. They think of you constantly, not because you chase, but because you radiate. They love you deeply, not because you demand, but because you assume. Your thoughts are not idle, they are currents that shape the unseen field of reality. Every time you dwell in self-pity, you push love further. Every time you imagine lack, you build walls against affection. But every time you rest in the vision of being adored, you send waves of telepathic energy that reach them across distance, across silence, across circumstance. They feel it as a sudden longing, a restless curiosity, a hunger for your presence. That is why you must be disciplined in mind. To love deeply and to be loved deeply requires not struggle but steadiness, an unshakable inner knowing. When doubts arise, do not wrestle with them, but gently return to the scene of fulfillment. When fears whisper, answer them not with panic, but with the certainty of the end. To be loved deeply is not a matter of chance, but of choice. It is the choice to imagine boldly, to persist courageously, to believe unapologetically in the unseen. It is the choice to hold fast to the inner reality, even when the outer world seems to deny it. The secret is persistence. If you will not be swayed by appearances, if you will not abandon the inner scene, if you will not betray your assumption, then love must materialize in the form you have decreed. The outer person may resist for a time, but resistance cannot withstand the pressure of a sustained assumption. Eventually they bend, they yield, they fall into alignment with the state you occupy. See yourself as already chosen. Walk as the one who is already adored. Think, speak, and act as though their love is unquestionable, for it is. You are not convincing them, you are convincing yourself. And once you are convinced, they cannot help but conform. They are but actors playing roles on the stage you have written. If you want them to love you deeply, then write the play where they are madly in love, and persist in rehearsing that play until the stage of life reflects it perfectly. Do not waver, do not negotiate with appearances, do not bow to temporary circumstances. Hold your end with firmness, and reality will bend to you. Every word they speak, every gesture they make, every thought that stirs in their heart is being pulled into harmony with your assumption. That is the telepathic law at work. When you dwell in the end of being loved, you are broadcasting a signal into the unseen, a signal that cannot be ignored. They pick it up as their own thought, their own impulse, their own sudden desire. They may not know why, but they will feel the need to reach for you, to cling to you, to love you deeply. You are not forcing them, you are awakening them to the role they were destined to play in your imagination. So let this be your secret. Love is not about earning, but about assuming. To be loved deeply, be it now in imagination. Hear them confess it, see them prove it, feel them embrace it, and refuse to let go of that scene. Day after day, night after night, return to it until it becomes so natural that you cannot imagine otherwise. And when it feels natural, the outer world must deliver. They cannot resist, for they are you pushed out. Their love for you is simply the reflection of the love you dared to hold within. You are the root, they are the echo. You are the fire, they are the flame. You are the source, they are the mirror. And when they arrive, when they call, when they confess, you will know it was never them that you had to convince. It was always yourself. For once you believed, the whole universe conspired to prove you right. The deeper you sink into the conviction of being loved, the more natural it becomes, and the more effortlessly the outer world complies. The world is nothing but yourself objectified, and love is the easiest thing to manifest when you understand that it is not their heart you must change, but your own inner state. Think of how the sun shines without effort, without strain, without asking permission to pour its light. So too does the one who dwells in the state of love radiate an energy that cannot be ignored. The person you desire feels it, even if they are miles away. They may wake in the night with you on their mind. They may find themselves distracted at work, replaying your image, your voice, your presence in their heart, because your assumption has impressed itself upon the field of consciousness that binds all things. You are not separate. You are connected by an invisible current, and that current is directed by your inner acceptance of being loved. Do not fall into the trap of thinking you must repeat endless actions outwardly to secure their devotion. The outer is only the shadow, the echo of the inner. You could chase, plead, send messages, and yet, if within you are not convinced of being loved, the shadow betrays your lack. On the other hand, you could do nothing outwardly, but inwardly dwell in the assurance of the obsession, and the outer will bend in your favor, arranging encounters, stirring conversations, orchestrating the perfect moments. For the law is impartial. It reflects whatever state you hold most naturally. That is why the secret to making them love you deeply is not strategy, not performance, but assumption. Every doubt is an invitation to choose again. Every fear is a signal reminding you of your power. When you hear the thought, "What if they don't love me? What if they choose someone else?" do not give it authority. Instead, respond with inner certainty. They love me more than anyone. They are mine in devotion. They cannot resist me. You are commanding reality, and reality, obedient as always, reshapes itself to honor your decree. They may not understand why their feelings intensify, but you will know, for you sowed the seed. There is no distance too great for love impressed in imagination. There is no silence too heavy that assumption cannot pierce. You do not need them physically present to ignite the bond, because the bond is spiritual, and spirit transcends space. When you enter the silence of your mind and imagine them holding you, confessing their love, choosing you above all, you are not playing make-believe, you are creating. And creation in imagination is the only creation that matters. For the outer world is but the delayed reflection. They will think it was their idea, their sudden realization, their choice to fall so deeply in love. But you will know it was born the moment you dared to accept it as true. This is the beauty of the law. It clothes itself in naturalness. The phone rings, and you smile, because you already knew. They confess, and you nod, because you had already heard it whispered countless times within. They cling to you desperately, and you rest peacefully, for you had long lived from the end, where their love was inevitable. You must also rid yourself of the belief that you are unworthy or lacking. Nothing repels love faster than the assumption of unworthiness. You are not competing for attention. You are not hoping for scraps. You are not lesser than anyone else. You are the chosen, the adored, the irresistible one. Carry yourself in imagination as the one who is worshipped, and the world cannot help but mirror it. See yourself as the prize, for that is what you are. When you accept this truth, your specific person feels it as a shift in energy, an undeniable pull, an urgency to secure you before anyone else does. This is why you must never beg in imagination. Do not picture them reluctantly staying. Do not imagine them uncertain or distant. Instead, imagine them overwhelmed with love, eager to hold you, desperate to assure you that you are theirs. The quality of your assumption determines the quality of your manifestation. If you want deep love, imagine deep love. If you want obsession, imagine obsession. If you want loyalty, imagine loyalty. Nothing is withheld, for the universe is abundant, and consciousness is unlimited. Take this moment now, close your eyes, and feel their love saturating your being. Feel the warmth of their gaze fixed on you with admiration. Feel their hand reaching for yours with certainty. Feel the words they speak in the privacy of your mind. I can't live without you. You are everything to me. Do not wait for the outer to confirm it. Know it now. And as you know it, you radiate it. As you radiate it, they feel it. As they feel it, they act upon it. This is the cycle of creation. And so the secret becomes clear. You are not at the mercy of their choices. You are the author of the script they follow. The moment you embrace yourself as love, the moment you inhabit the state of devotion, the outer world plays along. No one can resist the energy of conviction. No one can escape the gravity of assumption. They may have believed they were free, but they are bound by the invisible cords of your inner decree. Do not mistake this for control in the worldly sense. You are not forcing, you are aligning. You are not manipulating, you are assuming. You are not bending their will, you are awakening their true self in relation to you, the self that responds to your dominant belief. For in truth there is no other. They are you pushed out, and their love is your love returning multiplied. So live it boldly. Walk through your days with the quiet confidence of the one who is adored. Speak in your heart as though the confession has already been made. Rest in the nights as though you lie in their arms. Refuse to entertain any thought that contradicts the end you have chosen. Persist, 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 until the assumption hardens into fact. And when it does, you will see that it was not a secret at all. It was the law of your own being waiting for you to claim it. The great key is to live from the end and not for the end. If you are living for the day they will love you, you postpone its arrival indefinitely because you are acknowledging its absence. But when you live from the end, you stand already in possession of their love, and reality must conform. To live from the end is to clothe yourself in the state of being loved now without waiting for evidence. You smile, not because they texted, but because within you already heard their devotion. You rest peacefully, not because they called, but because within you already felt their embrace. This is how the unseen world creates the visible. By the certainty of your assumption, the human mind often rebels, for it is trained by appearances. It says, but they have not called, they have not confessed, they are distant. That voice of doubt is only the echo of the old state, and it has no power unless you grant it. You must train your mind to silence those whispers and to return again and again to the vision fulfilled. If you imagine them loving you deeply and then immediately look to the outer for proof, you uproot the seed. But if you persist without needing evidence, the seed grows underground until suddenly, in a moment you least expect, it breaks forth in bloom. That phone rings, that message arrives, that look of longing flashes in their eyes, and you realize the harvest has come. Consider that every moment you feel unloved, you are impressing that state upon reality. Every time you feel overlooked, you multiply the reflection of being overlooked. But the instant you dare to assume, I am the one they love deeply, I am the center of their world, you shift the pattern, and all things move to align with your new state. The outer person is powerless to resist because the inner state is the only cause. They feel the shift and respond without knowing why. It is not telepathy in the way the world imagines, but it is a transmission of consciousness. For consciousness is one, and when you occupy a state with intensity, that state reverberates through the shared field of being. They feel it as if it arose in their own heart. They believe the thought is theirs, the feeling is theirs, the desire is theirs, but in truth, it is a reflection of your assumption. This is why you need not chase them. They are already entwined in the state you hold. Now imagine what happens when you persist in the feeling of being loved obsessively. They begin to see you everywhere. They cannot escape your presence. Songs remind them of you. Conversations bring up your name. Even in their solitude, they find you occupying their thoughts. They may try to distract themselves, but the pull only grows stronger. And when they finally surrender, it will seem to them like destiny. But to you, it will be simple law fulfilled. You are the center of this creation. The world is your mirror. And love, far from being scarce, is abundant and infinite when claimed from within. To make them love you deeply, claim it boldly, persist in it fiercely, and release all need for evidence until it arrives. The more natural it feels to you, the faster it takes form. Naturalness is the secret. The moment it feels ordinary that they adore you, the moment it seems obvious that they cannot live without you, manifestation is at the door. Do not wait for them to say the words before you believe. Believe first, and the words will follow. Do not wait for their embrace before you feel secure. Feel secure now and the embrace will come. Do not wait for their loyalty before you trust. Trust now and loyalty will be yours. The law is always mirrored. It never fails, never delays, except according to your own waving. So discipline yourself. Each time the old thoughts creep in, gently but firmly return to the end. Each time fear whispers, but what if they don't love me? Answer, they love me more than anything in this world. Each time your heart longs for reassurance, give it to yourself in imagination. Hear their voice declaring it. See their face glowing with affection. Feel their touch grounding you in certainty. What you rehearse within must one day take shape without. And when you stand in their arms, when you hear the words spoken aloud that you once whispered in silence, you will know it was always your assumption that brought it forth. It was never chance, never luck, never manipulation. It was the divine law of consciousness. What you dare to accept within, you will live without. Therefore, the secret to making them love you deeply is not out there. It is here, in your imagination, in your assumption, in your persistence. Love begins with you. When you declare yourself loved, when you feel yourself adored, when you dwell unwaveringly in the state of being the chosen one, then the whole world, including the one you desire, cannot help but conform. They are drawn, captivated, and bound to the image you hold of yourself. For the truth is eternal. You are always meeting yourself. Do you see now that the world has no choice but to mirror you? The very person you long for, the one whose love you crave, is not some distant star shining separately in the sky. They are woven into the same fabric of consciousness that you command. Their feelings, their actions, their words, their very heartbeat in relation to you are reflections of what you dare to hold within yourself. If you accept yourself as the beloved, then they can only play the role of the lover. If you assume yourself to be the chosen one, they must fulfill the part of the one who chooses you above all. It is not force, it is alignment. It is not manipulation, it is the unfolding of the inner into the outer. So the secret to making them love you deeply is not to wrestle with their will, but to reshape your own conviction. Love does not blossom from effort, but from assumption. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. You cannot beg the reflection to smile, you must smile yourself, and the mirror will return the expression instantly. Likewise, you cannot beg the outer world to show love. You must first radiate it inwardly, and then the world reflects it back without resistance. This is why begging, pleading, or waiting anxiously never works. Those states declare lack. If you are begging, you are confirming that love is absent. If you are waiting, you are confessing that you do not yet have it. But if you assume, if you claim it boldly within, then you announce it is already mine, and the universe rushes to make it so. Your specific person begins to feel the truth of what you have dared to occupy. They feel compelled to act in ways that honor your inner state. They cannot stop thinking about you, cannot resist reaching out, cannot deny the depth of their growing love, because your assumption has become their reality. When doubts come, and they will, you must treat them as shadows, nothing more. Shadows only have power if you mistake them for substance. Doubt says, what if they don't love me? And you answer, they love me more deeply than I can imagine. Doubt says, what if they choose someone else? And you respond, they cannot see anyone but me. You overwrite every fear with the truth of your chosen state. And in doing so, you reinforce the conviction until it becomes the most natural thing in the world. You must remember, naturalness is the secret. If your desire feels distant, you have work to do in imagination. If it feels ordinary that they adore you, then manifestation is near. The moment it feels inevitable, reality collapses around that assumption and brings it forth. That is why the practice is simple. Repeat the inner scene until it feels real, and then live from that feeling. Do not look for signs. Do not wait anxiously. Simply know. And when you know, you radiate. You walk differently. You speak differently. You think differently. Because you are no longer searching, you are possessing. The energy you carry becomes magnetic. Your specific person senses it even without words. They feel your confidence, your certainty, your radiance, and it awakens in them an uncontrollable desire to move toward you. They may not understand why, but they will feel it as a gravitational pull. They will dream of you, long for you, and seek your presence, because you have declared it so in the silence of your imagination. Never underestimate the telepathic bond between souls. Your thoughts are not locked inside you. They ripple outward into the unseen, reaching the one you love, stirring them, moving them, igniting them. When you hold the vision of being cherished, you are broadcasting that reality, and they pick it up as their own thought. Suddenly they miss you without reason. Suddenly they want you without pause. Suddenly they realize they cannot live without you. And you smile because you know it was not sudden at all. It was born in the quiet certainty of your assumption. So do not be dismayed if the outer takes time. The seed planted in imagination is growing even when you cannot see it. The moment you dare to persist, creation has already occurred. Time is only the unfolding of what is already done. Trust it, rest in it, and do not uproot it with fear. Hold the vision steady until the natural moment arrives, and when it does, it will seem as though it happened all at once. They will love you deeply, passionately, obsessively, and you will know you authored it all within yourself. And when they confess their love, when they hold you as though they could never let you go, when they pour out devotion with trembling voice, you will not be surprised. You will nod silently, for you knew it long before they did. You heard it in the silence. You saw it in imagination. You felt it in your heart. And so when it appeared in the world of form, it was not new. It was inevitable. This is the power of assumption. This is the secret to being loved deeply. Accept it within, and the outer has no choice but to reflect. You are the cause, and they are the effect. You are the root, and they are the flower. You are the source, and they are the mirror. Everything begins and ends in you. So many wander in circles because they keep asking, how do I make them love me? Without realizing that the answer is already written in the structure of consciousness itself. You do not make them in the way of force or manipulation. You awaken the aspect of them that corresponds to your assumption. They are like an instrument, and you are the musician. The melody they play in your life depends entirely on the song you choose to strike within. If you dwell in lack, they play rejection. If you dwell in doubt, they play distance. But if you dwell in love fulfilled, they play devotion, passion, and an unshakable bond. The song is always yours to choose. That is why the most powerful practice is to step into the end now. In imagination, hear their voice trembling with emotion as they confess how deeply they love you. Feel their arms around you tight, as if they never want to let you go. Sense the warmth of their breath as they whisper, you are the one I've been searching for, the one I can't live without. And do not make it something you hope to one day experience. Make it something you know you already own. Let it be so real within that the outer world cannot help but catch up. Every time you repeat this inner knowing, you build a new state of consciousness, and soon it becomes your natural dwelling place. The human mind is a creature of habit, and imagination is the soil of habit. What you repeat, you reinforce. What you reinforce, you believe. What you believe, you live. That is the chain. And so, if you want them to love you deeply, repeat the vision until it hardens into belief. Once it is belief, it is law. And once it is law, Nothing can stop it from becoming fact. Even if today they appear indifferent, even if they seem far away, even if they have spoken words of doubt in the past, none of it matters. The past has no power. The outer appearance has no authority. Only your present assumption holds the key. If you accept now that they adore you, the past must bend, and the future must obey. It does not matter what was said or what was done, for all of it dissolves in the fire of your present conviction. The moment you choose, creation begins anew. Think of it like a play. The script is written by your inner assumption, and the world acts it out. If you change the script, the actors must change their lines. Your specific person is no exception. They cannot continue to play the role of disinterest if you have assigned them the role of the lover. They may resist for a scene or two, but the script will always prevail, and soon they will speak the lines you gave them in imagination. They will express the love you declare to be yours. Do not mistake this for fantasy. Imagination is not fantasy, it is creation. The outer world is fantasy, for it is fleeting and changeable. The inner world is reality, for it is cause and foundation. That is why the world tells you to be realistic, but what they call realism is merely bondage to appearances. True realism is to acknowledge the supremacy of imagination, for it is the only reality that endures. And so live in the vision. When you walk, walk as one adored. When you speak, speak as one cherished. When you lie down at night, rest as though their arms encircle you. When you wake, rise as one who is deeply loved. Carry this state with you as naturally as breathing, and soon it becomes so automatic that you no longer question it. The state hardens into fact, and then the confession comes, the embrace comes, the union comes. The embrace comes, the union comes. And when it does, it will not feel like a miracle, it will feel natural. For miracles are only natural laws misunderstood. What you call miraculous today will be ordinary tomorrow when you understand the law. Their love will feel inevitable, as though it had always been so, because you have lived in that end long enough to make it your normal. The secret to making them love you deeply is not outside you. It is not in their actions, not in their words, not in the circumstances. It is in you. It is in the vision you dare to sustain, in the conviction you dare to hold, in the love you dare to accept as already yours. You are not waiting for them to change, you are changing yourself. And in changing yourself, you change the world, including them, for they are only you pushed out. So stand firm in the truth. You are the beloved, you are the chosen, you are the center of their devotion. Live in that truth so completely that no evidence to the contrary can shake you. Persist until it feels natural. And when it feels natural, you will see it reflected in every glance, every word, every act of love they give. They will be unable to do otherwise, for you have written it in the language of consciousness, and consciousness never fails.